darlings, this is Mrs. Welch from the Chester-Andover Elementary School Library, and I have a groundhog book for you. It's called To Sleep Groundhog. It's written by Judy Cox and illustrated by Paul Meisel. Groundhog went to bed on Columbus Day, just like he always did. He brushed his teeth. He put on his jammies. He set his clock for February 2nd, then he curled up in his warm, cozy bed. He closed his eyes, he tossed and turned, but he couldn't get to sleep. Finally, he got out of bed. He peered at his clock, 1/2 October. Groundhog poked his nose outside his burrow. The moon was full. "I'll just go for a little walk," he said. "Maybe it'll make me sleepy." Groundhog went outside. He saw things he'd never seen before. Raggedy scarecrows and grinning jack-o'-lanterns, children dressed up like pirates, cowboys, and princesses. Halloween witch flew down. "What are you doing up?" she said. "It's almost winter. You should be in bed." Witch flew Groundhog home on her broomstick. She tucked him in. She read him a ghost story. She gave him a glass of apple cider. Groundhog curled up in his warm, cozy bed. He closed his eyes and tossed and turned, but he couldn't get to sleep. Finally, he got out of bed. He peered at his clock. It was 1/2 November. He poked his nose outside his burrow. The leaves were red and yellow. "I'll just go for a little walk," he said. "Maybe that will make me sleepy." Groundhog went outside. He saw things he'd never seen before. Tall yellow corn stalks and round orange pumpkins, turkeys gobbling in the barnyard. "What are you doing up?" Turkey said. "It's almost winter. You should be in bed and I should be making myself scarce." Turkey took Groundhog home. He tucked him in. He read him a story about pilgrims and gave him a slice of pumpkin pie. Yum, yum. Groundhog curled up in his warm, cozy bed. He closed his eyes. He tossed and he turned, but he couldn't get to sleep. Finally, he got out of bed. He peered at the clock. 1/2 December. Groundhog poked his nose outside his burrow. Stars twinkled overhead. "I'll just go for a little walk," he said. "Maybe that will make me sleepy." Groundhog went outside. He saw things he'd never seen before. Colored lights glowing on some houses, candles shining in windows, holly wreaths hanging on doors. He heard sleigh bells chiming in the air. Santa flew down in his sleigh. "What are you doing up?" Santa said. "It's winter. You should be in bed." Santa took Groundhog home in his sleigh. He tucked him in. He read him a Christmas story. He gave him a glass of milk and a cookie. Groundhog curled up in his warm bed. He closed his eyes. He didn't toss and he didn't turn, and soon he fell asleep. Bring! Groundhog opened one eye. "It can't be time to get up yet," he grumbled. "I just got to sleep." And you can see in his clock, it's almost February, just like it is for us. Ring! He peered at his clock. February 2nd. Groundhog yawned and stretched. He tumbled out of his burrow. Snow glitters on the ground. The sun was out. The sky was blue. Groundhog saw his shadow. "What am I doing up?" he said. "There are 6 more weeks of winter coming. I should be in bed." He hurried back inside. He ate a bedtime snack. He read himself a bedtime story. Then he tucked himself into his warm, cozy bed, and he pulled up the covers, closed his eyes, and went to sleep. And this talks a little bit about Groundhog Day. Remember, we live in Vermont. Even if the groundhog doesn't see his shadow, believe me, there's more than 4 more weeks of winter. This has been Mrs. Welch for the Chester-Andover Elementary School. We'll see you soon.